Hi, nice to see you. Welcome or welcome back. Today I have 23 books for 23 years because it's my birthday. The weather outside is terrible, but it's perfect reading weather, which is why I'm giving you amazing recommendations you can read on these rainy days and also for the upcoming summer. First up, we have my current read, Every Summer After. This is a perfect summer read. I am almost halfway through, and the best way to describe this book is if love, in other words, and the summer I turned pretty had a baby. 5 summers to fall in love, 1 moment to fall apart. You go back and forth to the present, and 12 years goes to all the summers. I am flying through this book. Amazing. Next up is Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl. I will forever and always recommend this to every young woman out there. This is about a girl who lives the perfect life as the preacher's daughter. Parents are super strict, her boyfriend is the town's golden boy. The only problem is her parents want her to remain pure, so nothing before marriage. But her boyfriend does want to explore the intimate part of their relationship. Her boyfriend is tired of waiting and he breaks up with her. And not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. Her body was literally refusing. This book has an amazing, unexpected friendship between her, another girl, and a new boy. There's also a love triangle between that boy and her ex-boyfriend. But the thing that I appreciated most about this book was the topic about her body. I genuinely liked that her friends were so willing to help her discover what is wrong with her body, and you could literally see the personal growth. This was a 5-star read for me. Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. Now this was an amazing small-town romance. She's a florist, he's a bodyguard, he is teaching her how to date and to find her person, but they secretly fall in love. Besides these two main characters who are very likable, this town is amazing. If you like the town of Gilmore Girls, you will love this one as well. This come in a series. You have When in Rome before this one. I personally made the mistake to read this one before When in Rome, so I would recommend to read the other book first before this one. But if you don't really care about the other book, then this one is fine as well. The first book is focusing on her brother and the pop star that he's the bodyguard of, so it's all connected. Love this. We're staying in a small town vibe, so here's Archer's voice. This is such a beautiful story. If you plan on reading Archer's voice, make sure you are bringing tissues. Brie and Archer will forever hold a piece of my heart. Brie is moving to the small town in May with her dog, and she runs into Archer Hill. Archer doesn't communicate with anyone due to something traumatic that happened in Archer's life. He doesn't speak anymore. He uses sign language. Wow, and let me tell you, Brie knows sign language. So Brie is the only person in town Archer communicates with. Along their story development, we also learn the town's secrets. I am so jealous of the people who can experience this book for the first time again. Like, I truly do want to swap places with you. Genuinely. This is also the perfect book to read on a stormy day. And when I say stormy, read this book and you will understand. Before We Were Strangers, just like the cover says, it's a love-hate love story. I've said this a few times before in my book talk. This is one of the only exceptions to miscommunication trope done right. A missed connection, a second chance at love. Matt and Grace met each other in college and they formed this beautiful friendship. Then it turned into something more. But due to a miscommunication, everything fell apart. They both went on with their lives and their careers, and they haven't spoken in, 15 years? Until one day at the metro, when they saw each other again. But before they could speak, the doors were already closing and Grace was gone. And Matt is determined to do anything to get in touch with her again. So he's posting this letter. It's literally on the back as well. This is the letter that he posted online, trying to find her. This is also a story that goes back and forth. So we go back to their college years and to the present. Give it a shot. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Perfect read at this moment. Justin and Emma both think they have this curse hanging over their heads when it comes to dating. Every time they date a person and they break up, that person immediately finds their soulmate after breaking up with Justin or Emma. They're like, well, why does everybody find love after they've been with me? Why can't I find love? So Justin posted this online and Emma saw that thread and she's like, okay, why not? Let me give it a shot. So they decided to try to break this curse by dating each other. And all they needed is 4 dates, 1 kiss and a breakup to find true love. At least that's what they hope. Obviously, since this is fake dating, they fall in love. What I like most about Abby Jimenez books is that there's so much more to the book than the romance. These characters are struggling with so much more than finding true love. Emma has this traumatic and terrible relationship with her mother, who is a terrible human being, if I'm allowed to say so. And Justin is supposed to take care of his entire family while his mom goes to prison. This was my favorite read of 2024. Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. Now this is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I do recommend to read the entire trilogy, but this one is definitely my favorite. I mean, I have yet to read Final Offer, but that's a story for another time. The main reason why I love this story is because of the female main character, Iris. She's amazing. Declan is destined to become the next CEO of his family empire, but there's only one problem, and that's his grandfather's inheritance clause. Whew, that was difficult to pronounce. He needs to get married and have an heir.
What?
That's literally the clause his granddad put in there. So Declan makes sure that his assistant, Iris, finds a suitor. He doesn't care about love, he just wants to fulfill his grandfather's dying wish. They can't find anybody, and then Iris steps in to fulfill the job. Iris has been giving her life to her job and now to her boss as well. It was supposed to be simple, you know, like move in, marry, act all lovely duckly together in public. But the more they spend time together, the more they form a real connection. So we don't have the fake dating trope here, we have a fake marriage. I love it so much. And then we go to one of my instant boy authors, Anna Huang. This is Twisted Love, and I also have Twisted Games for you. These are my two favorites in the Twisted series. This is the first book and the second book. They are standalone, so you can read them separately, just like the entire series. But I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend you to read book 1 to 4. Alex Volkov is this super grumpy, scary billionaire, who also happened to be the best friend of the brother of Ava. Alex was asked by Josh to watch over Ava now that he has this internship to become a doctor. And Ava is like, what do you mean? I need a billionaire to babysit me. I'm a college student, like I can take care of myself. Who can say no to Alex Volkov? You can't say no to Alex Volkov, okay? Alex is super cold. He doesn't give a flip about anyone besides Josh and now also Ava. But there is a huge plot twist at the end of the book. Well, not the end, third act of the book. It's toxic. Alex is very toxic, I will admit, but I loved every second of it. Twisted Games, however, is about Reese and Bridget. Bridget is a princess. She was supposed to live her life freely, but then her brother, who was supposed to be king, turned down the crown, which means that the responsibility of her country now falls on the shoulders of Bridget. So now Bridget has to go back to her country and sit on the throne, with Reese Larson as her super hot bodyguard. Reese has only 2 rules. I'll read them aloud. 1. Protect his clients at all costs. 2. Do not become emotionally involved. Ever. This is a Bodyguard romance. Just for your information, there are 4 books in this series and the female main characters of the books are best friends. And let me tell you something else, all the male main characters are connected in some way as well. This is my favorite in the series. But this is also a bit like Forbidden Love, and I was eating it up, I was like, it was so hot. They are very spicy though, so keep that in mind. I can actually talk for hours about Anna Huang, but I'm just gonna throw in one more, and that's my favorite book written by her, King of Wrath. Dante Russo and Vivian Lau. Love it. It wasn't even just the story or their romance that got me hooked. It was a romance development, their personal growth, how they were standing on business. I loved this book. Literally devoured this in 2 sittings. Anna Huang mainly writes billionaire and millionaire romances, just for your info. Dante Russo is being blackmailed to marry Vivian Lowe. The one who blackmails him is Vivian Lowe's father. Both Dante and Vivian do not want this, but since he is getting blackmailed and she doesn't want to let her parents down, they are like, okay, we're just gonna go for it. Dante is determined to do anything to annul this marriage. But the only problem is, now that he has Vivian, now that he gets to know her and see her and feel her, touch her, spend time with her, breathe in her synth, he can't let her go. They go from marriage of convenience or like fake marriage, blackmailed marriage, to real romance. Gosh, I love this story. Everything is probably one of my favorite young adult books. This is so much fun to read because there are like pictures and drawings in there. Live life in a bubble or risk everything for love. Madeline has a super rare disease. Basically, she's allergic to the entire world. So her mom, who is a doctor, keeps her at home. And the only person Madeline talks to or sees is her mom and her caretaker. Until one day, they get new neighbors, and there's a boy next door. Madeline is looking out the window and the boy is looking back at her. They get in touch. His name is Ollie. The more they get in touch, the more they talk and get to know each other, they want to see each other. Madeline is so sick of just staying at home and she wants to go out. I'm at a moment where I do not care if I have a long life. I want to live a good life. I do not want to live life between these 4 walls of my room. I want to go out. So she does, with Ollie. But like I said, she's allergic to the entire world. crazy plot twist, by the way. Let's add a fantasy book as well, The Cruel Prince. I haven't read many fantasy books yet, even though I have shelves filled with fantasy books. I said this in my previous video as well. This is one of my most annotated books of all time, probably because there's so much world building and like new things happening that don't happen in romance books. This is amazing, and if someone ever tells you this is romantasy, they're lying. I feel like in The Cruel Prince, romance is the subplot. I have yet to read the other books in the series. Maybe the romance development is bigger in those other books than in this one, because here it was a subplot. This is heavily focused on politics. This book is so much more political than people realize, even though it's young adult. Jude Duarte quickly became one of my favorite characters of all time. She's such a badass because as a human, she and her sisters were dragged to the world of the Fae. She wants to do anything to be a part of them, to show them that she isn't just a weak human being, that she can be stronger, that she can be smarter. But these are Fae, and June and her sisters are heavily bullied. They are mocked and tormented simply for just being mortal. So instead of being what the Fae think of them, she needs to be as deceitful and cunning as the Fae. Oh, and don't get me started about where Prince Cardin is involved. Oof, go pick this up. The favorites. This book came out this year. I believe it was January or February. Never thought I would say I'm into ice skating until I read this book. I keep saying this and I'm still shocked because figure skating isn't super common here, and I didn't really think I would love this. This was written in such an addictive way. Katarina always knew she was destined to become an Olympic star. She has an instant connection with Heath, who's a lonely kid stuck in the foster care system, and because of their intimate connection, they are stars on the ice. They are so determined to become the best of the best, and then they get an opportunity to train with the best. They leave their traumatic lives behind and move away to become this duo that is so in the spotlight. Their fans are so captivated with them because of their chemistry on the ice. They are rebellious, and their relationship goes from up and down, up and down. The entire world is so invested in their relationship, both on the ice as off the ice, until one day at the Olympic Games, an incident shockingly destroys their partnership. Then 10 years later, this book is written as a tell-all documentary with the story itself within. So you have the story, and then at the beginning or the end of each chapter, you see the documentary. So addictive, super scandalous as well. Oh, I'm obsessed. The Nasheeds is a young adult murder mystery series. So thrilling to read, and the entire time I tried looking for who you was supposed to be, the person who done it. People compare the Nasheeds to Criminal Minds but make it young adults. And I agree. This is about a bunch of kids who have gifts. Let's say. Some of them know when you are lying. Some of them are very good at profiling people. The FBI is collecting these kids to form a new special force. And they reopen cold cases. Cases the FBI couldn't solve. But then a case hits a little too close to home. And then the plot twists start rolling in. The thing I liked most was when we also saw you pages. You pages are from the POV of the person who did the crime. All the right places. This is one of those books that I'll carry in my heart forever because of the mental impact it made. This is about Theodore Finch and Violet Markey. Theodore wants to take his own life because he's broken and nobody can fix it. Violet is devastated by her sister's death. This is about grief, mental health awareness. It's about suicide, self-harm, the will to live. This had so much impact when I read this book, and I genuinely think more people should read this book. It's sad as flip. You need tissues. It touches such heavy topics, but it's beautiful. To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Now I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Jenny Han because yes, I definitely recommend these books, but there are some stuff in here in the second and third, even the first book that I'm like, oh, I feel a certain type of way about that. We follow the story from Laura Jean. Every time she was in love with a boy, she wrote them love letters, but never sent them out. She always kept these love letters to herself. Until one day, her annoying sister sent these letters out. She sent out all these letters to all the boys she's loved before. This was such a fun read. Genuinely liked the characters. I feel like sometimes, especially when we are adults, we need to take a step back and realize that these people are like 15, 16, 17 years old. They make stupid decisions. I do not know if I would have made better decisions at the time. This is one of those young adult series that I know I will reread, you know. The mailman is here with a package. Anyhow, back to the next book. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. This is a young adult slasher. all happening in a span of one day. Super binge worthy. Read this in one sitting. I actually read this in a YouTube video. Charity Curtis is the main character in this story. She plays the final girl in a terror game at Camp Mirror Lake. The terror game is inspired by the classic slasher movie that was filmed on Camp Mirror Lake. Guests literally pay money to be scared by a bunch of teenagers. Until the final weekend of the season, where things turn around and some co-workers start disappearing. This is, like I said, young adult, slasher, there's a cult, sacrifice, ritual. It's scary and a bunch of plot twists. If you have been with me, this is one of those books you will either love or you will hate. I loved it. It was one of the first books that I read in one single day. I started reading it, I completely forgot the time, and then I finished it somewhere around midnight. Autumn and Finny have been best friends since, well, forever, because their mothers are best friends and they live next door. When they go to a new school, they kind of grow apart and get new friends and also new relationships. I literally feel like all they had to do was talk it out and talk what was bothering them. Everything that happened could have been, well, erased. Bring tissues while reading this book because it's sad. The first chapter tells you what is going to happen at the end of the book. Just pick it up if you want your heart broken. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I only bought the physical copy because I gave the audiobook 5 stars. I barely ever give out 5 stars to audiobooks because, well, I don't know, I just get annoyed with the narrator sometimes. This was good. This was good. It's one hell of a story. It's just not hers to tell. An author literally steals the manuscript of her so-called friend who passed away in front of her. She choked on a pancake, I believe. And then she stole her manuscript. The author who passed away was successful and she isn't. But she becomes successful because of that manuscript. And she gets all this success until people start noticing this is kind of sus. I'll read this to you. Finally, June has the fame she always deserved, but someone is about to expose her. What happened next is entirely everyone else's fault. So good. This is a new release, Summer in the City by Alex Esther. Again, so binge-worthy. It's just your perfect summer rom-com to turn off your brain. There's nothing super incredible or special about this book. It's just easy. It's easy. Alex said she was inspired by the romcoms of the early 2000s, and that's why she wrote this book. And I can understand. We're keeping up with the new releases. Sunrise on the Reaping. Obviously, I am going to recommend the entire Hunger Games series, which I still have to read. But I did read the newest book in the series. This is Hamish's story. I have watched all the movies hundreds of times, so I was incredibly excited when I found out that there was going to be a Hamish's story. I don't know what we did to deserve this book. I don't know what Hamish did to become such a punchbag for Suzanne. Nothing good happened to him. Nothing. This was an emotional roller coaster. Bawled my eyes out. But I gave it 5 stars. Because of this book, you will understand Hamish in the Hunger Games a whole lot more. Like, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. 2 books left. Hate Mail. I want to read about pen pals a whole lot more. This is about Naomi and Luca. They have been pen pals since 5th grade. Well, not really pals. They were more like bitter rivals. They were sassy to one another. It started off as just a chain of hateful letters and it slowly turned into a good and strong friendship. They haven't seen each other ever. They were just pen pals for years and years and years. Until one day, 12 years later, these letters stopped. It's been 2 years since Naomi last heard from Luca. But then one day a new envelope turned up and now Naomi is destined to find out where Luca is. This was so much fun. My camera's about to die. We're keeping it short with the last book. It's a book by Frida McFadden, The Wife Upstairs. If you liked Verity by Colleen Hoover, you will like The Wife Upstairs as well. It's basically the same. Okay, so apparently my battery died and it didn't save the last clips. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you now what I was saying. The Wife Upstairs, we followed 3 people. We have the husband, the wife, and the new woman that comes live with them. The wife, she's very sick. She had an accident. She can't speak anymore. She needs help 24/7. And the husband wanted to have like a friend for her, you know. So she hires this woman to be her friend and kind of like, you know, take care of her. And she's like, okay, because he pays good. The husband pays good. It's kind of crazy, but sure. So she starts spending time with the wife. At first she thought, well, the wife doesn't want me here. because it's all strange and creepy and just weird because they live in a deserted place. But the wife actually has written letters about what had happened to her, to the accident. So now that woman is like, I don't know why I keep playing with my fingers like, but is it visible? So otherwise it will be confusing, I guess. Anyhow, the woman is like, what is going on? Because there are so many secrets, and what if the husband actually plays a very big role in the accident of the wife? Kind of like by Verity, the manuscript or the letters, you know? If you have that Verity. Oh wait, I also need to say goodbye. Anyways, those were the 23 books for 23 years. I'm gonna go change now and make sure I can put this video online for you guys to watch on my birthday. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.